All right, number two. What is one thing that people always misunderstand about you?
It's easy for me. Like when I first meet people, they typically I don't think like me very much because tend to have a drier sense of humor. So I'll make like sarcastic jokes, and if you don't know that I'm joking, you could just think that I'm super weird. So whenever I start a new job, I notice it in particular where like I don't have friends at first because nobody can kind of figure it out, and then one or two people will understand that I'm joking and kind of start to understand the sense of humor.
I feel like you also don't let people into your circle super easily.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's
true. I love the story. When we first were part of the fraternity, we were in the same pledge class. So the first night you hang out literally 24 hours. You said you weren't so sure about me at first.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And clearly I was the fucking coolest guy.
Well, I mean, I think
but if it took that long to warm up to me, it's like, yeah, I think it's probably a good trait.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Like I have a bunch of people, I guess a smaller amount of people I'm very, very close with. And then, a bunch of people that I love or whatever, but it's not, I guess I don't let people in too easy, but I'm always misunderstood, especially at first. Again, it's like, is he joking? Is he a dick? Is he stupid? Like, what are these things that he's saying? And then typically I always hear it like a year later, like we were so confused. We had no idea what was going on with you. And then,
one thing I'm always interested in is I have a lot of people our age, work is a huge part of their life. Like my work situation is different because I'm the boss. How important are those relationships with your coworkers professionally? And I mean, I don't think you're probably looking for a new group of friends, but what if there's like the four coolest dudes ever and they would would be your friends? Would you go out with them? Or how do you look at the workplace and the relationships?
That's a good question. I mean, it depends on like what you're looking for. There's some people who I have a really, really strong professional relationship, and like we work together a lot. We work together really well, and like there's a lot of give and take there, feedback, all that stuff is there. But like outside of work and from a personal standpoint, super civil and friendly, but not like we don't have a lot in common. And then there's other people who I would say my closest friends at work are typically not people I work with like day in and day out, just people that I share common interests in. And it's important to have both. Like I think in my last job I had.
It's important for you to have both types of friends?
Yeah, at work, because.
To make your experience at work better?
Yeah, to make my experience at work better. So I'm not spending all my time with like one person. And then also like personal relationships are much different. So, sometimes that I think can potentially get in the way of like business decisions and making the right call. So
office
making sure
politics.
And so that's what I like about working in an office. It's kind of what I'm missing about not working in an office is we use Teams for video calls all the time, but it's not quite the same.
I feel like you strive in that type of environment too. Like people might like you more of like around you with a bunch of people and like you're
a couple
cool.
jokes.
Yeah, cool in like a group of people. What was the question even? Oh, something misunderstood.
What do people misunderstand about you?
So like at first they think you're not sure about you, a little more dry sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And then after they get to know you, they're like
an acquired taste. And I'm probably you said, I'm probably a little bit standoffish or a little bit guarded at first.
Okay, let's go on. What do people misunderstand about me? I think some people might just think I'm like all cockiness and all like blind confidence and
bravado
and like no like hard work and logic. Like I'm practical. I'm smart. I have risk analysis in a certain way. I like some people think I'm just gonna eventually just run into a wall because I'm so fucking cocky that I'm just gonna like not think straight and be so cocky that I just end up fucking everything up and I'm gonna end up like. But I'm actually I don't think I'm really like that. I'm cocky, but I'm confident and I make bold decisions. But I'm rational and smart and I think things through, and yeah.
Fair.
I think
right.
Or
direct. I think people like you come off as you can initially come off as an asshole, but it's more just being direct, and like
I'm direct.
the tough love can be taken two ways. Usually, I mean, it's always coming from a place that you care. Like if you didn't care about somebody or something, you wouldn't be giving them tough love.
I can come off. I can come off as an asshole. I can come off as an asshole.
It's hard
to. And I don't hate that. I mean,
it's not a bad thing.
I'm not an asshole. Like I'm a kind person. I want people to be happy, but like also, I don't. If I can't control something, like I don't give a fuck. Like like this person's having a problem. I don't know them. I don't know. Like, how can I help them? I don't know. If I help people in my circle more than I do. Like, I don't give to homeless people, or I don't usually do the $1 at the grocery store or something. Like, if they're like $1 for, like.
I'm thinking more like if you see somebody that you're close with, or you care about, like, not living up to their potential and not doing what you know they could do to be better in, whether it be like socially or professionally, whatever it is, like you're always, you'll call it out and just like bluntly say it as it is, which is again a good thing, because if you didn't care about the person, you just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
So if you address it, it's like, hey,
that's true.
What the fuck was that?
If I address it, then you're in this type of circle of mine,
right? But it can,
honored.
If you're not used to it, and I think a lot of people aren't, then it can be like, all right, asshole, just let it be,
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it's a good thing.
I'm very direct, and I'm very direct, and
especially for a business owner.
I go straight in the reason I'm like that in a more social settings, I think is because I've trained my mind to just find the truth so quickly, and like just I have a jet stream to the truth, and that's the way I've made my brain work. Like I don't have any cobwebs. I don't have any cobwebs that like. I've just trained my brain to be like zoom, zoom, zoom. So like if in a conversation, you're having a beer, like something comes up, I just like that's how I've trained my brain to work, to be like zoom. Be like, oh yeah, so like your dad's a dick, and they're like, whoa, yo, like, well you just said like, oh, so like, yeah,
no sugarcoating it.
Yeah, and I actually had this like psychologist on my podcast, and I said to that, I said a lot of people sometimes think I'm an asshole because I'll be direct with them, like, do you have any advice? She said one thing you can do is like. Ask for permission. She said, if you say, hey, can I tell you something? So I've been trying to, I don't have too many of these situations in my life, but I've been trying to, if I care, and if I have an objective, the goal is to get to the objective, and I need to find the best way to get to the objective. So if sometimes that is dancing around or sugarcoating it, like, the objective is the objective, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to get there. And sometimes I think direct is usually the best way, but it's something I'm working on gaining.
Yeah, you can always use a little bit more tact, but like the intention is always good.
Yeah,
you know?
And like asshole is like such like a negative word, but like I'm kind, I'm loving, I care about the people around me, and like
all the best coaches are assholes.
I don't take any bullshit. Yeah, and like when Brandon cut out all the mean stuff I said in his weight loss video and only put the nice stuff. But I said to you, man, if you're gonna lose this weight,
on purpose.
Yeah, you did. And I said, if you're gonna lose this weight, you got to go out of your comfort zone. You went to the gym, you walked half a mile. You got to fucking be walking out of there like this, breathing heavy, and you're like, all right. But that's what you got to do, and you can't cut this, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're not alone there, Brandon. I had conversations like that with him, but again, if he didn't give a shit, he wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, like
but he wants the best.
Yeah, I had a coach like that said the same thing. He's like, if I'm not like getting on you, like a third stringer, fourth stringer, he's like, I don't care if you do better, like,
or I know you can't do better, but if I know you can do better and you're not, then I'm gonna call it out.
Yeah. And the worst thing you can do so even like say I have an employee and the employee is not living up to the standards, the worst thing I can do is nothing, right. or fire them out of the blue. Because that's now a bad business owner would avoid the conflict of firing them out of the blue, and they would avoid the conflict of talking to them. That's why they suck at business. You have if you're good at business, you have to have some type of, this is bad, it's got to go, or like you got to do something about this right now.
Fix it.
Like,
yeah.
You got to fix it, or else your business will suck. I have a strong business, and if I have a weak link, I will focus on it, and I will think about, how do I go about this? If it's some different people need to be treated differently, some people, but the easiest thing to do is nothing, and that's not a fucking option in business. Right. or football coaching. If you have an offensive lineman who's not doing something right, what are you just going to let him just keep doing stuff wrong? If you want to lose the game, but if he's going off sides, like, you can yell, you can bring him into the film room and talk to him, but you can't just let him keep fucking the team up. And that is why a lot of people don't like business. They don't like this world of like but that's why any good business owner has to be able to deal with this. And it's uncomfortable. I don't like conflict. But I know that a strong mind and a strong person and a coach or a business owner, they have to be somebody who has the ability to be comfortable and deal with conflict. Mm-hmm. And if you avoid it at all costs, then you can't do it. You're just either gonna fail, or you're not even gonna start in the beginning. So it's with human beings, it's inevitable. So
I always think of
where I have to do it sometimes.
Whenever it's like an uncomfortable conversation or something like that at work, I always think of it as like going to the dentist. Nobody likes going to the dentist. Few people like going to the dentist. But if you have like an issue with a tooth, or if like you don't go to the dentist and you just keep pushing it off because you hate going and it's uncomfortable and you're whatever, you just I'll go next time. I'll go next time. Like pretty soon, you're like 4 years later, your mouth isn't going to heal itself. Like if you have cavities, it's just going to get worse. So you got to nip it in the bud. It sucks to do it. It's uncomfortable, but like you feel good afterwards. Your teeth are clean. Everything.
Pain is part of life.
Yeah, you have to
Brandon?
be.
Right, Brandon?
Yes.
Hunger, cardio. That's just painful. But
a moment of being uncomfortable is not the end of the world, right? Like it's so worth being uncomfortable because
that's how human beings are like wired to only grow. The only way you can grow is to go through pain.
To make your muscles bigger, you literally have to like rip them apart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Nothing worth having is ever easy, right? Like no job is super easy, stress-free. That's going to pay you a shit ton of money.
And I love I love the nature of that. I love how that is nature, not human nature, just world nature. That's the nature of everything that's ever existed on this planet. Is for things to grow, you have to go through an obstacle of pain. That's just how it is. There's nothing you can do about it. And if some guy who's born rich, his obstacles are different. He has money, but he doesn't have any. All of a sudden, he's 18, 19, 20, and he starts taking pills and kills himself because
he's always got to worry about do people like him for his money or not.
Yeah, and he never had to go through the proper channels of getting a job and going through the obstacle to get that growth. He was able to avoid pain for that long, and then when the time hits, you don't have any skills to cope with the pain, and you are a weak person. Have you ever heard a better podcast in your entire life? Take that, Joe Rogan. Best podcast you've ever heard. Get more podcasts right here and subscribe to the show too while you're at it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you. Honestly, I love you.